You know, there's a lot of big movies still to come this year. And one of the ones that I'm particularly interested in is Supergirl. You know, I love the casting in it. I loved Superman. I thought Superman was great. Had one of the highest audience scores of any comic book film ever. It was just a magnificent film, and I love the way they introduced Supergirl at the end. I've really liked the trailers. I was admittedly not thrilled with the presentation they just gave us at CinemaCon, but that notwithstanding, I'm looking forward to seeing it. The question for a lot of people has been, how is the movie going to do? What kind of numbers are they talking about it racking up here? And the early projection right now has come out from Box Office Theory. And they're putting the number anywhere between about $50 million to $65 million opening weekend. Now, one of the things when people would ask me, 6 months ago about how do you think Supergirl is going to do? Do you think it'll be bigger than Superman? I would say, no. Superman is still Superman. Supergirl is a secondary derivative character. Of course, you can't expect Supergirl to be making the same numbers. And don't forget, as Variety just put it today, Peter Safran and James Gunn are still dealing with the damage done by the DCEU. It's still a thing. We've only had one movie since the DCEU. So to think that Supergirl was going to come out and be some massive blockbuster was always kind of a fairy tale. But how strong could it be? Well, to put it into a little bit of context here, if it does open, let's say between $50 and $65 million, it could be a little bit higher, could be a little bit lower. But if it comes out even just $2 or $3 million higher than that, take a look at this number. We're talking about Supergirl. These are the last 5 DCEU movies that they ever put out. The last 5 they ever put out were Aquaman 2, Blue Beetle, The Flash, Shazam 2, and of course, everybody's favorite Black Adam were the last ones to come out. Even if it only comes in at, let's say, I don't know, 56, 57, 58 million dollars of an opening. That literally beats every single of the last 5 ones except for Black Adam. And if it does come in at the top of its range, Supergirl will have a higher opening weekend than the last 5 movies of the DCU. As big as Superman? No, but you'd be foolish to think that it would. So the big question is going to be, and Rob, I know we sound like a broken record player when we talk about this. The big question is going to be, what kind of legs does it have? And that's all going to be based on how good the movie is.
Yeah.
If the movie is as good as it has potential of being, then it's going to be profitable. I mean, right now we're looking at this film needs to come in a little over Black Adam. This film needs to come in around 400 to 410 million to break even. An opening of, say, 55, 60, you'd like to see it higher than that to get to the break-even mark, but it's certainly within shot. If the movie is as good as it has the potential to be, it'll easily clear that 400 million. If the movie is disappointing, then it may struggle to get to that mark a little bit. So I look at these numbers because I've seen some other outlets writing about, oh my gosh, like some people are tracking it at 65 million, some people tracking it at 60 million, whatever. And people like these outlets writing, oh my gosh, this would be a terrible opening weekend for Supergirl. Honestly, my opinion is then you're a terrible analyst. Then you are not reading the tea leaves here. Because if you ever thought it was even remotely possible that Supergirl was going to open to $100 million, a B-level derivative character, then I don't know what to tell you. You're simply insane. Like, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy had a magnificent opening, but we talk about Guardians of the Galaxy because of what an exception that was. If Supergirl can come out as only the second new DCU movie and have still show marked improvement and healing and recovery from the damage done by the DCEU, and still have a bigger opening weekend than the past 5 DCEU movies, then I call that a win. Like, because who would have ever thought that a Supergirl movie would do better than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in Black Adam? Who would have ever thought that? If you'd asked that question prior to Black Adam coming out, nobody, absolutely nobody. Who would have ever thought after the billion-dollar run of Aquaman saying a Supergirl movie would open bigger than Aquaman 2? Nobody would have ever thought that. After I thought the first Shazam movie was a charming delight. I really love the first Shazam movie. Who would have thought that saying that a sequel to that beloved movie, that a Supergirl movie would make more opening weekend than that would? I don't think a lot of people. I think a bunch of people would probably guess it might make more than Blue Beetle. So sure enough, it's going to. So yeah, listen, I'm telling you, if there's anybody out there looking at these numbers, and by the way, it may not open to $60 million. It might open to 70. It might open to 75. It could very well open to 35. Then these are two very different conversations we're going to have. But what I'm saying right now, we're going to have to wait and see how it actually does, because I'm not really sure how it's going to do opening weekend. I'm iffy on how the whole marketing campaign has gone. But if it does, say, open to Black Adam numbers at, say, 65, 66, 67 million, if it does, with all the damage the DCEU had done to the DC brand, if a Supergirl movie opens bigger than the previous 5 DCEU films, and you paint that as anything other than a success, I have to question how good you are as an analyst. Now, at the end of the day, you still want to see if this movie can make money and be profitable. We're going to have to see the movie before we can make any guesses about that. Maybe it's beloved and everybody goes back a ton like they did with Obsession. Maybe it falls like a cliff like Mortal Kombat 2 did. And by the way, I had a good time with Mortal Kombat 2, but its box office dropped off a cliff after the first weekend. We're going to have to wait and see. I don't know how good the movie's going to be. I don't know how bad the movie's going to be. We'll have to wait and see.
Guys, we want to take a second and thank a sponsor of today's video, Hims. You know, one of the hardest things about trying to lose weight is just figuring out what actually works, because we've seen them all. There are a million trends, diets, and gimmicks out there, and honestly, it can get overwhelming. And that's why weight loss by Hims really stands out. Hims now offers access to an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, including the Wegovy pill at its lowest price ever, and the Wegovy pen. With Wegovy at Hims, lose up to 20% or more of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. It helps you regulate your appetite and eat less, so success is within reach. Plus, Wegovy is the first ever and only GLP-1 available in a pill for weight loss, so there are no needles needed. And the process is extremely convenient. Everything happens online. You connect with a licensed provider who determines if treatment is right for you, and if prescribed, your medication gets delivered right to your door. No insurance necessary. Ready to reach your goals? Visit hims.com/Campea to get a personalized, affordable plan that gets you. That's HIMS.com/Campea. hims.com/Campea. Based on advertised cash price for 30-day supply of medication only. Membership required, fee not included, and billed separately. Weight loss by Hims is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk A.S. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information, and restrictions, visit hims.com.
All I'm saying, Rob, right now is if it actually does, as a Superman derivative character, the second DCU movie, if it does open in that $65 million range, I think they got to take that as a win. I don't know. You see these numbers, you see all this stuff being thrown around. How do you take it?
Well, I think it really depends, as always, how good the movie is. You know, I think we're judging it like you and I think we're a little underwhelmed by the scene they showed at CinemaCon, but that really doesn't mean anything. I mean, seeing it in context and seeing it with the rest of the movie, I might like the movie quite a lot. It really comes down to the film, and I'm leaning on the side of the movie itself doing better than people expect, because I think that character of Superman, once again, it appeals to females. She's strong, she's sassy, and I think we never really take into consideration what an audience that might turn out for a new Frozen movie, when they turn out to a superhero movie, what that can mean, especially if the superhero movie's good. You know, and I would think this movie, I'm going to lean in, having not seen it. Everybody comes back and said, well, you said Superman was going to do this or that. I haven't seen Supergirl. I don't know if it's going to be good or not. I'm talking into a vacuum here. But I think that I think the movie's going to surprise people. I think it's going to do better than they might expect, or better than our own movie pundit world thinks. Only because I think that audiences want to see a movie like this, especially female audiences. But time will tell.
You know, there's a little bit of a Travis Knight-ism to this too, Rob, because Gillespie is directing it. And I love his work. I think he's a really talented director.
Mhm.
He's created films that have won Oscars. He's a tremendous director. And so again, I don't know what we're going to get out of this. I really don't. I don't know if it's going to be as charming and fun and delightful as Superman was. I don't know if it's going to be, you know, as disappointing as, you know, some other projects that maybe we won't mention right now. But I'm just saying, if it opens to these numbers, I think that's as good as they can expect. And we'll have to see how that all kind of unvolves. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? What kind of opening numbers are you expecting for Supergirl? Are people going to be going out to see it? Remember, this is a B-level Superman derivative character. And it's only the second film in the DCEU. What are you expecting it to do? Do you think it's going to be any good? Right now, I think it's a coin toss. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.